So as we head out of lockdown and things are easing up and we start catching up with friends, I thought it'd be nice to catch up with a few friends of the show. And I'm really pleased to say joining me all the way from the West Coast, I'm not talking Cornwall, is Chesney Hawkes. Good evening, Ches.
Not Somerset.
No.
How you doing, Dan?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad. I see light at the end of the tunnel, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I think we all are. We all are. So obviously you've been experiencing lockdown in America, but
Yes.
presumably, family over here have been keeping you up to date with everything that we've been going through. So how has
Yes,
lockdown been for you?
I hear the pubs have opened this week.
Yeah, we did. Lucy and I were out there last night with blankets and hats and gloves.
I saw like photos of people like drinking at 8 a.m.
Yeah. Well, we woke up to snow yesterday morning, would you
Oh, for
believe?
goodness sake. The
Yeah,
classic English weather, four
absolutely.
seasons in one day.
Absolutely.
Uh,
But yeah, nothing was stopping us going for our
well,
first pub
exactly. We're
visit.
hardly us English, we've got to, us Brits have got to get out there, haven't we?
Absolutely. So what's lockdown been like in America then? How have you sort of found it your end?
Well, I mean, over here is very similar, really, through the whole pandemic as it has been in the UK. We've been very much locked down and, told not to go out. Through most of last year, it was, a complete lockdown. It started opening up little bits and pieces. Like they started doing like outdoor, not bars, restaurants. You can only do it with food, but only if you sit outside.
Right.
So I mean, of course you can do that here in LA because it's nice and warm. And it's what's happened is quite funny, really, because all of the restaurants and places like that along the strips, like the Sunset Strip and Ventura Boulevard, they've taken over like the pavements, or as they say over here, the sidewalks. And so there's nowhere to walk. It's all tables now. So I think once this is all the restrictions are eased, they're going to find it difficult to kind of let go that real estate.
Yeah.
But as far as my lockdown, some of it's been quite lovely, actually, to be honest, because I've got to actually spend time with family and see my kids, which is more than I normally get. I'm normally
Yeah.
away half the time, and so that side of it's been really quite wonderful, to be honest, Dan. I think it's going to be tough for me to go back to normal life in a way. I'm almost a little bit anxious about
Mm.
all through this whole year I've been anxious about not being able to work, and now that things are starting to open up a bit, I'm now anxious about going back to
Go
work.
back.
So I don't know what's going on.
Presumably, though, obviously you haven't seen your family over here for probably well over a year, I guess.
Actually, I did come back to do a film in September. So I was there for the month of September. So I
Okay.
kind of got broken up, So it's been 6 months now, or more, I guess now, 7 months
Yeah.
now since I've seen them. But I did have that, which was a blessing.
Brilliant. And they're doing well. They keeping well over
They're
here.
okay. I mean, I know you know that my dad's not very well. But he's in good spirits. He hasn't left the house since March last year because of his illness. He's very much one of the more vulnerable in the community. So he hasn't gone out. And my mum's kind of got cabin fever and wants to get back to champagne with the ladies and all that kind of
Fair
stuff.
enough.
But everybody in the family's fine, thanks, Dan. My sister's doing well, my brother's doing well. It's all good. It's all good.
Good. And I mean, you've kept yourself fairly busy over lockdown. You've done a few online concerts.
Yeah, I
Um,
did a whole series of concerts actually. Yeah.
yeah, you've been a bit like the Partridge Family because you've been getting everyone together. That's showing my age a bit, isn't
It is a little bit that some of your listeners will be like, the what? The partridge? What?
it? Google it.
Partridge in the
You
pear
could-
tree family.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you've all been getting involved and joining in, haven't you?
You could have said the Brady Bunch, it would have been.
Oh, did they? But they didn't play instruments, did they?
No, maybe not. No, maybe they didn't. You're right. Partridge family. I will go with that.
It was the nearest reference I could think of.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. The Osmonds, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all my family are all into music as well. My youngest son is a great guitar player, and it was something for us to do together. We did a couple of shows where it was all of us sitting on a couch doing harmonies and playing guitars and stuff. It was good fun. It was really that part of it's been really lovely, actually.
And have you been working on any new? I read something about a musical in the offing.
I've got all sorts on at the moment, Dan. I've got a new album which was ready to drop last year, but for obvious reasons that didn't happen. So that got put back, and I'm bringing this new album, which I'm very excited about. Actually, people really like this album, and I have a great new team, and I got the producer is Jake Gosling, who is Ed Sheeran's producer, and I've got Nick Kershaw in it, in a few songs, and bring back the old friend. Of course, Nick's gonna have to have a song there. So so I'm hoping to put that out this summer, maybe June. So not long now. So I've been sitting here in my studio, frantically making my own little videos and what they call assets for the album, little Spotify canvas things that things that we never had to do in our old day, mate. You know what I mean? Back in those days, just make a record and put it out. Now you got to make like all sorts of content, for different platforms. It's mad. So I've got that. The album's coming out in the summer. I'll be touring hopefully through the latter half of the year. I'm making I've written a musical, but obviously that's not going to be put on a stage anytime soon. So we've taken the bull by the horns, and we're making the cast album. So I've cast all of the parts.
I was going to audition. I was going to jump in.
Well, a bit late, mate. Sorry, you missed the boat.
Oh no! I was going to get Lucy down, and we're going to give you a sing song, and never mind. Next time.
Oh well. Next album, next thing. So yes, I've got that as well, and I'm making the album for that, and we're going to put that out hopefully this year too.
So what's that all about? What's the musical about?
It's. When I first, it's been a labor of love for me for the last kind of probably 4 or 5 years, and we did a workshop for it at the London School of Musical Theatre a couple of years ago. It was to start with based on a kind of autobiographical stuff that's happened to me. It's about two brothers. One of them ends up having this big hit, and he goes off on this journey and stuff. But it's become something completely new, as these things do happens. It's kind of metamorphosized into this whole different story, and it's a great little piece. God knows when I'll be able to get it in an actual theatre. But which is why I wanted to get the songs out there, So it's a great fun project, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I've got some wonderful people, great cast involved in the album, and hopefully I'll get that out. Well, I'm hoping that maybe late summer for that one.
Fabulous. We'll watch out for that, because you're not new to musical theatre. You've done a couple of things. You've done Joseph in way back. You did the Barry Manilow.
I've done a few. Done Godspell as well.
Of course, yeah.
And all sorts of things. I did a musical based on Robert Louis Stevenson's Kidnapped back when I was like 20 years old, something like that. I have tread the boards a few times, and I hope to actually star in this one as well, because there is a part for me. Oh yeah,
okay.
That's one of the benefits of writing a musical. You
yes,
can write
absolutely.
a part.
Oh well, we'll definitely be looking out for that. You said about how things were when you were 20 years ago. Of course, the other thing you've celebrated over lockdown is 30 years of Buddy's Song, the film that introduced us to you in the first place, and gave us, of course, the one and only, the great one and only. And you did a nice online event as well, raising money for White Lodge Centre here in Surrey.
Yes.
So it's lovely to see you still involved with all of that stuff.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, because as I said before, I'm always back and forth to England. I mean, not so much this year, but or last year. But in normal times, I'm always back and forth, and I stay with my folks in Chertsey, and so Surrey is is very much part of my in my heart. And so all the charities that I'm an ambassador for, I still am, because I'm still there back and forth, and of course it's a small world these days, isn't it? You can do everything remotely. So I was able to raise some awareness and some funds for the White Lodge Centre. Did a couple of online shows for them through the pandemic, actually.
Yeah, and the Buddy Song kind of watch along, wasn't it? It was people you're watching the film together, and I think you did a Q&A afterwards or something like that.
Well, it was a bit of a show. Actually, that one you're talking about, the watch party, was actually a recording of the show that I did last year, where I got all the guests in that were like cast and crew of the film. I had Sharon Hughes, who played my mum, and I had Roger Daltrey did a little part for me, and Paul Mackenzie, who played my best friend, and the writer Nigel Hinton came on, and we just did lots of like interviews and stuff. And I played live all of the songs from the album, so it was like a review from the film. It was good fun. And so the watch party was us watching that, and then me doing interviews and Q&As with people. Yeah.
Fabulous. Well, you've certainly done your bit, and the other thing that you've been involved in quite recently, which is it's been a massive topic of conversation throughout lockdown, and that's about people and dealing with mental health issues, which skyrocketed over the last year or so, and you've been involved in a mental health podcast. Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, I was talking to my old mate Brandon Block, who those of you that don't know who Brandon, and he was and is a superstar DJ from the 90s, known for his hell raising, and he was always one of those friends that he had a little bit of Belushi in him, and he had a self-destruct issues, and very, very nearly died. He's quite happy to talk about all this stuff himself, through his intake of various substances and stuff. And so he went through hell and came out the other side, and he's now working and helping people with their mental health and with addiction problems and stuff like that. So we were just having a chat, and he talks like that. He's like, "Oh, Ches, oh bloody hell," and he said, "Oh, I want to do this podcast. I want to get it out there, And so him and I just decided to do a little thing, and we've gathered a few friends along the way. Neil Harrington, who was one of his friends, that he's kind of taken it as his baby, and he's the one who does all the behind the scenes thing. He's also one of the co-hosts. And then I got my friend Lynn Ferguson in, who is an incredible, very funny comedian and writer. But also, kind of a therapist herself. And so it was a perfect fit. And so we started gathering every Wednesday and making these podcasts. And we made a full season in the end. We've had some fabulous guests. We've had Heston Blumenthal on. We've had Toya Wilcox, DJ Shlomo. This week, one that just released yesterday is Toby Anstis. It's been really fun. And we do this segment where our guest chooses their happy song or their sad song, and then I recreate it here in the studio. And we talk about what it is about those songs that evokes these emotions for them. I mean, we do talk a lot about mental health, but basically it's not a mental health podcast. It's an entertainment chat show, to be quite honest with you. We laugh so much. There's a lot of laughter, a lot of tears. Nothing is off topic. We talk about everything from suicide to whatever. And it's been, for me, it's been kind of therapy. We meet every Wednesday and get stuff off our chest. And our guests really, really open up. There's something about the combination of us four that helps people feel comfortable. And they open up. We've had some really, really beautiful interviews. So anyone interested in coming to have a look at that, it's kind of gaining a lot of speed, actually, this podcast. I guess these things that are just, you do it for love and just for the hell of it, for the fun of it, and just to give back, I guess. These are the things that start taking off. So weareallabitmental.com. That's the name of it. We are all a bit mental. So if anyone wants to come and check us out, it's also on Spotify and Apple and all those streaming services.
All the usual places.
All the usual.
Yeah, and fantastic. And again, I suppose that's one of the things that's come out of lockdown is people kind of approaching things in a different way, finding new ways of communicating with each other, finding new avenues to get support from different people. I sort of hope my hope for when we come out of this is that we don't sort of slide back into let's not talk to each other, let's not keep in touch.
And that's why these kind of things are really good. there's a lot that has come out of lockdown that is good for this particular subject. You know, people are talking; they really are, even though they're locked in their houses. You know, I mean, the one thing everybody says it, you probably understand this yourself, but, you know, we start talking to people that we hadn't spoken to for a long time. Right? I mean, I'm speaking to people that I hadn't seen for ages, and they just clock in, you know, and you just want to come into your head. You're like, you know what, I'm just going to give them a call, see how they're doing, you know, because one thing it did do was bring us all together, because we all have, you know, we're going through the same thing. I mean, I always said we're in the same storm, just different boats. You know,
Nice, like it.
some people managed to thrive through the pandemic and, you know, and make money and carry on with life, and then other people like myself, basically the tap was turned off last March, and I haven't earned a penny since, really. I mean, you know, a little dribs and drabs, but really it's been tough to make ends meet, and it's the same for a lot of people all over the world. So, you know, it's brought us all together. We're all in the same situation, and you know, luckily, I think that us humans, you know, we gravitate to each other. Thank goodness, because where would we be without each other for support? You know.
Absolutely, and as we were saying earlier, there's, you know, you yourself have been doing these online concerts and the mental health podcast and stuff, and reaching out, and I think that, you know, that's fabulous, and, you know, lots of people have been doing. You know, stuff. I've been sort of hosting online quizzes now and again to try and entertain a few people on a Tuesday.
Nice.
And mainly entertain myself, really, give myself something to do. One thing I was one particular thing that came up that I was trying to champion, and I was really gutted that you weren't part of, was Gary Barlow's thing that he was doing.
And it's funny that I've been asked by lots of people on Twitter saying, like, you know, you should do the thing with Gary, and I was like, I'm happy to do that. You know, I'm just waiting for the invitation. But I think he's scared. I think it's too many chords in the one and only for him to learn. He can't bother to learn all the chords. Too many key changes, you see. That's
true. You know, I was playing it earlier. You can't see it, or actually you might see.
Oh yeah,
this is very set up that I've got my. It's easy to play 90s, but. We put it the one and only.
It's not quite so easy to play the one and only, though, is it?
So you're I was having a bash through earlier.
Nice strategically placed dots there.
I know. I only just realised it's in view. That is genuine. I didn't expect it to be in camera.
That's so funny. I can't really read it from here, Dan, but
I promise
I'll take your word for it.
It is open at the one and only. 30 years old. So what's next? Where are you? You I think you're heading over here in June, aren't you? All things, hopefully.
Yes. Yeah, I've got some gigs, amazingly. It's going to be emotional getting back on stage. At the end of June, I think the first one is the 23rd or 24th of June. It's all on my website, chesneyhawkes.com, if anyone's interested. But I'm hoping to tour, you know, through the latter half of the year to promote this album. So I'm, you know, very excited to get out there and play these new songs. It's really going to be... I mean, hopefully I'll remember how to play.
Yeah, how are you feeling about that? So I was talking to my wife Lucy about it. We do a bit of Amdram, but we have essentially not been on stage since March last year ourselves. And I'm sort of in two minds of, you know, am I going to remember what to do when the time comes?
I mean, I'm starting to have, you know, slight anxiety about it. Like, you know, I'm going to be standing on stage with this plank of wood around my neck. What is this thing? Not that I've stopped playing guitar, but like, yeah, I think it's going to be weird. I never rehearse with my band ever. Like we kind of are a bit rock and roll, and we just plug in and play, and, you know, and just wing it most of the time. And after a couple of gigs, you're back, you're into it again, you know. But on this occasion, because it's all new songs from the new album, and we really need to get together. So I've scheduled a couple of days rehearsal before the first gig.
I think that's wise, and
I think it probably is
very wise. So that's brilliant. The other thing I always ask you about is your book, because when you first came on my show, We had a
You're
conversation.
the only one that pushes me for
I'm the
this
only one
book.
that pushes you for this book because Lucy's still waiting for her copy, basically. Yeah, we had a discussion, didn't we? That I'd been sent a press release to say you'd finished your book, but actually you hadn't.
You did?
So
Who sent you that press
I
release?
can't remember.
That
We
was
had a whole
false.
conversation about it. That,
Fake news. Fake news.
yeah, it was. It was. But come on, lockdown has been.
I know.
Surely
This is
you finished it off by now.
No, not at all. It's definitely still on hold, Dan. You know, I've had this kind of slight epiphany where I thought, yes, I could do it, but maybe I want to just kind of get past my 50th birthday. You know, so I don't really see, you know, a memoir before you hit your half century. You know, so. So I don't have long. I've got till September.
Well, I was going to say that you are turning 50 in September. You don't look remotely like you're anywhere near turning 50. So it's a bit sickening, really, from this end. But how are you feeling about about that turning?
Yeah,
50
it's a big number, isn't it? It's funny. I don't know how I feel about it. It's weird. It's like on one side I feel like you know, I blinked and 30 years just trundled on somehow, and then on the other side I'm like, wow, that was it's a life lived, as it were, and you know, I've got a 20-year-old son, so I had to be doing something in that time. Yeah, it's a funny thing, but it's only a number, isn't it? I mean, I don't feel like. I don't know. Age is a weird thing. I'm happy, you know. So I guess that's more important. It's that I'm happy where I am. I'm in love. My children are safe and healthy and well, and I have a good life. You know, I'm still able to earn a living making music. Well, not this year, but
usually.
Hopefully, as time goes on, I can carry on where I left off.
Excellent. Well, obviously, wish you all the best for your 50th. Hopefully, I'll catch you again before then. Yes. Anyway, but you were very kind enough to send over a message to my wife Lucy for her 50th last year. So I'll try and get her to return the favour.
Do it.
She went down very well, actually. She was obviously not expecting that you were in the middle of a montage of friends saying
right,
happy birthday.
Just popped up in the middle of friends.
So in the middle of we had the video of us singing along to you at the Rewind Festival a couple of years ago, and then you came off the back of that. So she was obviously not expecting it at all.
No. But, nicely done, Dan.
It was one of her highlights of her little reel. So thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
Send
my love. Hi Lucy, it's Chesney Hawkes here, wishing you a very happy 50th birthday. Lots of love.
So touring, new album, musical down the line, at some point
podcast.
You're going to be a busy man when all this is over and done with.
It's a very, very busy time. I had quite a long stretch through the pandemic where I was not so busy, and it actually felt quite nice to just kind of step off the train for a little bit and just go for walks with the dogs and just spend time with the kids. We had a jigsaw puzzle on the dining room table for months. It was like a 2,000 piece jigsaw, and that's the kind of thing that I just wouldn't have had time to do anything like that, you know. So it was really nice to just stop and just do nothing for a little bit. I think a lot of people relate to that. But now it's just all guns blazing again, and here we go. It's crazy right now. I seem to be forever in this studio. There's something about like a release of music today that is incredibly stressful, because like back in the old days you just put a record out and that was it, but now you've got like assets, they call it.
Yes. I don't know what content. They are. What's an asset?
Well, let me just explain a little bit about what it's like to put a record out now in 2021, right? So this all comes down to me as well. So I have to create the record, right? The album, as you would, fine. Got that. You got to do photos. You got to do maybe a couple of videos, you know. So then you've got to do acoustic versions of all of those songs, and possibly acoustic versions of a few things here and there. Then you've got to do videos for them. Then you've got to make the Spotify canvas, which is a little video that comes up when you play your song on Spotify. Have you seen those, like little 7-second things?
Right.
Then you've got to do visualizers for each of the songs, which is these weird little videos. I didn't know any of this until recently. I'm learning. And little videos of just something small, like a picture that moves a little bit, but not the full video. Then you've got to make lyric videos for each of these songs, and I mean it goes on and on and on.
Oh, for the days when all you had to do was stick the lyrics in the sleeve.
And I didn't even get into, like, you know, Instagram pictures and reels and stories, and it's like you need a whole bloody team.
Yeah, I should say. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine how you keep up with all of those things. I have to say, I'm pretty rubbish at Twitter, in that
me too.
Follow what you're up to, and I retweet a few things, but I tend not to think of anything I've got that is worth saying.
No, it's all strategy now, Dan. It's all you know. You got to post at this particular time, and it's got to be that kind of content, and you know, data driven, and it's all. So there's no way that I'm going to be like able to do what they want, because the way I do social media is it's very kind of organic and natural. And if something happens in my life, I'm like, oh yeah, check this out, or I look at this old photo I found, or here's a video of the dogs, you know? or look
wrong with a video of the dogs. Yeah, in amongst all that, there's an album. Oh. Yeah. Well, surely videos of the dogs can do your little 7-second things, you know. Surely
that's true. I'll make that. I'll make a note of that. Just, you know, put the dogs on loop.
Oh crikey! It wears me out just thinking about it. Actually, all the things you've got to try and do. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Now, obviously, I can't let you go without playing something as you're there in your studio.
All right. Let's see. Let's see if I've got this all on. I wonder if I'm tuned.
I would play along, but there'll probably be a delay and it won't be a mess.
It wouldn't work, Dan. It just wouldn't work.
I know. I don't quite know how Gary did it with his things. Oh, do you? Oh, okay. Insider knowledge.
Hang on. Tell you the secrets. Because I've done a lot of that this year. In fact, I did one with Matt Lucas.
Oh yeah, for the Mr. Baked Potato, is it?
The baked potato one, yeah. So the way they do it, and this is how Gary does it too, is he gets his friend to do their part of it. Right. So you do the, you know, baked potato, my life, and you do your part, and then he puts his part to your part. So you have to act like you're talking. So you're like, "Hello, Matt," and then wait. Oh yeah, I've been doing fine. It's scripted, everything. It's like it's all, you know, you can't do it as a chat because obviously, you know, the latency, you know, with Zoom. If I played now and you played with me, you'd be like a second behind me, and it would all fall apart.
It would.
Now listen, Dan, I don't know why I'm impelled to do this, but I kind of want to do a little version of the one and only for you.
Well,
I don't normally.
You don't normally, yeah. I mean, I would imagine it's not something you ask for very often.
No, but I was going to do a little slow version, a little picky version.
Oh, nice. Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Are you still recording? Yeah.
Right. I am. Yep.
Call me by my name, oh, call me by my number, put me through it, I'll still be doing it the way I do it, and yet you try to make me forget who I really am. Don't tell me I know best. I'm not the same as all the rest. I am the one and only. Nobody I'd rather be. I am the one and only. You can't take that away from me.
Nice. Very nice.
Reminds
me a bit. I tried to make a version of One and Only years ago and put it in 6/8 for you out there.
Yeah.
So it sort of worked in my head. That's it.
Nobody I'd rather be. That's quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. Let's see if the verse works. Call me by my name. Yeah, it's like a little waltzy thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
that kind of works.
Yeah.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
There you go. If you need, more content at some point, there's the 6/8 version of One and Only. Copyright.
As you can imagine, I've done that song in every genre known to man.
I've no doubt. Oh, nice.
It's like Jack Johnson version.
Yeah.
Yeah, reggae versions.
You have to do it like brilliant. You have to do it like they used to do with Whose Line Is It Anyway? Get the audience to shout out a musical style. And
well, I did that actually on one of my shows.
Oh yeah,
I did. Yeah, one of the as I had. That's the other thing I do is created a whole TV show called Live and Unfiltered, which I did from here.
Oh yes.
And on two of those shows, it kind of became a theme. Like, I said, do I have to do the One and Only? Do I have to do one? Give me some options, And so I did it like, people would write in the chat, because we did it via Zoom. So and it would be like, I did a country version, I did reggae version, I did death metal. I can't remember now, but yeah, it was quite fun.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Ches. That's fab. One day we'll be in the same room together, and I'll have my Easy to Play 90s book ready.
Perfect.
Well, I'll try and learn it by then. It's the verse that I keep forgetting.
It's all over the place. So many bloody chords. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick. Chesney, it's been really fabulous catching up with you, and I'm so pleased that you're well and you've been getting loads of interesting stuff ready to release to the world. When this is all over and done with.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, mate. It's been great catching up, and we'll do it again soon, eh? Yeah,
absolutely. We'll look forward to seeing you over here. Maybe when you're over here on tour. We'll get you phoning in from backstage somewhere, maybe, and giving us
that would be great. I would love that.
Fabulous. Brilliant. Cheers, Chesney. Nice one.
Take care, Dan. Love to lose. Bye now.
Will do. Love to all the family.